That's how we'll start that. Start this whole stream.
Unless you're into that sort of thing.
Unless you're into probing, which is truly. I'm glad that you're doing your probing. I'm glad you're probing into unknown areas, everybody.
Probe away.
So welcome everybody, anybody, whoever is actually either here or nobody. That's fine too. Cool. We're talking shit as usual. Um, I or we have decided that we don't have thing or we before this I texted George, uh, do we have a topic to talk about? And then I was like, or George said something along the lines as, no, we don't. But technically we do. I decided, or at least collectively said, that we should talk about aliens. And George here is, I don't want to say conspiracy theorist because I feel like that's rude. I feel like there's negative connotations to conspiracy theorist.
I'm just a believer.
You're just a believer.
We can just leave it at believer.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good way to do it. Because, well, okay, so I guess in that terms I'm also a believer, but let's because I feel like I have to explain myself a lot of the times when when I go into this territory. I don't believe in any facet have aliens ever contacted us in any way, shape, or form. If they have visited Earth, it's not in any capacity that would steer us in any direction. I just think that maybe they have viewed us and said, I'm getting the fuck out of here," and left us to our own devices. I don't believe that in any facet that they have wanted to mess with us. I think that's probably where I'm sitting right now in the way that I think.
So you don't dispute the existence part.
No, no. I mean, it would be with all the stuff
Good.
that
So
goes
you're
on.
not dumb.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, think about it. Like, in the immeasurable amount of universe that is out there, or galaxies, or actually, it's just space. I feel like there's some point that there's another set of beings or another life form that is out there. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're here or they're
Two
among us.
two other dudes talking shit.
Two other dudes talking shit. Oh yeah, two other dudes talking shit. Two other
Has
aliens
they have to
talking shit.
exist.
Has to.
Yeah. So I have an inverse belief to yours. So, um, I do believe they've made contact on the ground level, I guess you can call it. You know, just taking normal schmoes like you and me
Yeah.
of no real true importance other than, you know, whatever it is they do up there, probing. Um, that I do believe in because once you believe in their existence, I believe that that part just makes sense. That part makes sense both ways. If you look at it from a point of view of it's them doing it, or our government doing it, or a combination of both, it's not hard to pull off. Um, you could throw in theatrics there, like, oh, the light came in through the window and, I flew through the wall. And okay, all of that can be, if the government is doing it, all of that can just be easily done through, making the person hallucinate. That's not too crazy. Or the person is just dreaming that part. Um, uh, I do believe they have bookmarks in our history where they their influence, if you will, has, I'm going to use your words, has steered us in the right direction or in a better direction or further along the direction that we were probably headed in anyway. Um, Now, there's so many silly ass doors you can open with this. So many. Um, but if we're gonna stick to the cooler stuff, or the the stuff grounded in stuff that just makes more sense,
The nitty gritty.
um, if they really are extraterrestrials, meaning from another planet, not within the group of planets that we grew up naming and seeing in books, but from somewhere else, um, it makes no sense that they come for no reason. Traveling that far, just common sense. There has to be a reason. Would you
Yeah.
drive to Canada for no goddamn reason? No, there's a reason. Um, and a lot of folks say that they're not actually extraterrestrials; they're extra dimensional. It's just they don't come from like the distance. It's just basically another fold, another wrinkle of reality that they've managed to learn how to hop over and hop back. Um, which goes into a bajillion other theories of, if you believe in multiple or parallel worlds and yada yada yada. So yeah, uh, I definitely believe in the green dudes or the grays or however you want to call
Hmm.
them. If we're smart enough to have structure, then I'm sure they are too. And I do believe they're on the planet. People, I don't think people from all over the world would make shit up and have too many coincidences, too many things that are similar,
Mm.
whether they're describing them or behaviors, movements, uh, commonalities, and where they see them. People have seen them in the fuck is it? The Grand Canyon. People have seen them, of course, in the woods and stuff like that. They've been seen all over the world, in India and Malaysia, everywhere. Um, I don't know, man. I think it's just too many people saying the same shit. Now, if it all comes out as public knowledge, like you can argue that we deserve to know, but that's fucking crazy. I'm gonna actually go ahead and quote Tommy Lee Jones here from Men in Black. The person is smart. People are fucking stupid.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me put a pin on that. Juego says
Pin.
kiss each other. Do it. Well, we're on camera, so we can't do that,
Who?
and we wouldn't do that anyways. One of my followers that likes to follow me and say very interesting things. Um,
Whatever. I'll kiss you Monday.
but yeah, yeah, I'll have to see you Monday. Fuck. So, but in saying that though, I mean, it could be a lot of things though. I mean, if people have credible sources, that's one thing, but I don't find any of it to be credible because at some point you, in terms of seeing the same exact thing or having the same exact, um, also, well, hold on. In saying that, like things, if you have the same, it like corroborate the same exact story, so too many times, it becomes, I don't know. It just seems like it other than like making it mysterious and ooh there are people around or they're extra dimensional or extraterrestrial people. It's more of like a um. It's just I don't know. It just seems like it's muddied the water. And yes, Fuegos, we are friends. Absolutely, he is a friend of mine as well. Have to be corrected by that. But in terms of in terms of how like it's been seen all over the world, I don't know how much evidence that would be as oh I've seen this gray person somewhere, right? If it goes into more detail and there's credible evidence, that makes sense. Like they released those um those videos of where they were seeing this floating object. The military or our military was seeing like floating objects. Yeah, that could be considered evidence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a UFO. It's a UFO, but it's not. an alien, or it could not, or it could be an alien, it couldn't be, if that makes sense. I don't know. A lot of
No, it does make sense. Just because there's something unidentified flying in the sky doesn't mean there's a little gray man inside driving it.
yeah, exactly. It could be a fucking weather balloon, as our America likes to use so much when it comes to aliens. It's a
Right.
weather balloon.
No, I agree. I agree. Um, so you have to. I mean, so many people have seen things in the sky. They've they've caught it on video. It's been on the news. It's all this stuff. So, like you said, seeing those things are incredible. As far as I know, we don't have that kind of tech. But then again, by the time we become aware of tech, the tech itself has already been around for 15 years. We just aren't allowed to see it. So, whatever we're seeing in the skies, you have a point. We have no way of knowing what's inside. Is it incredible? Yes. Is it alien? You don't know. No matter how excited you get about it, you don't know. You absolutely don't know. The only thing that'll change your mind is if you come face to face with one.
Exactly. Well,
That that'll set you straight.
that's the thing about um. I'm trying.
You
Well,
just have an issue with them being giving blah 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 with them being given credit for advances or technology or influences. But I know that you're willing to accept that they are a thing, that there are beings other than ourselves in this huge ass sandbox. What are you laughing at? Who said something stupid?
Huegos again. He did something in my text to speech. Um, there will come a soldier who carries a mighty sword. He will tear your city down. Ole, ola, or ole, olai, oh Lord, ole, olai, ole, oh Lord. Holy shit. This thing's fucking long, Legos. Holy shit, homie. For fuck's sake. But so, in terms of that fucking threw me off. It's, I don't even have an issue with them being better equipped than us or at the same level as us. If that's the case, that's fine. I again, there has to be irrefutable proof. It's the one reason why I'm not and this is about as religious I'll ever get on this channel. It's the reason I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form anymore. There has to
Well,
be irrefutable proof.
I don't think we'll ever get that
Unfortunately,
until
yeah.
until something happens and it's even above our government's control, and then at that point it's an oh shit moment. That would be your irrefutable proof. But you have to wonder why are there so many secret facilities? What on earth could be more secretive than that? There's You can say, well, people can say that there's no Area 51 all they want, but if
There
it's
is.
not there, why? Right. Some
Yeah,
people
there
actually
is.
believe that there isn't, but I believe that there is, of course.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
like, to those people who say that there isn't, if there isn't, why is that one of the few places on Earth that you actually can't walk on? There's guards there, yeah, but you're not gonna die by the guards. There's all sorts of goodies for booby traps there. There's there's gases that'll knock you out. There's they really really go all out to prevent you from being there. You're not allowed in Antarctica. I'm not
Unless you have
allowed.
a government grant or something that allows you to research them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless
Um.
unless you went through the impossible to go there, you're not allowed to go there. Why?
Well, one, you can die there, very
Well,
quickly.
the land doesn't actually belong to anyone.
So technically, you could travel
How,
there, but I mean,
no,
so
there's 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 uh there's military bases there.
oh, cool. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, not cool because you'll get shot on sight, but
Okay, so
it's such an odd thing.
I'm never going to Antarctica, but you're all right though. Being shot just to be on a particular piece of land seems rather fishy. But I mean,
Yeah,
that's just
what's
do.
what's there, you know?
Well, that's just due to most governments not being transparent with the people that reside in the country that they govern. I mean,
I
it's
think
not necessarily.
I think that one's different. I get what you're saying. There's, not anybody, not any civilian can walk into a, you know, the U.S. Army's R&D department. Of course, they don't have the clearance. Duh. But I think Antarctica's a little different.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that there's a lot to guess from that, but like, it's the same token as like you would think of like the Bermuda Triangle, which isn't a triangle at all. Matter of fact, it would be just the whole goddamn sea, because the whole goddamn sea is unknown. The when they posted the magazine, or when they researched the magazine, or a YouTuber researched the magazine from where the Bermuda Triangle came from. It was a tabloid journal piece, and then from there it became its own zeitgeist. But the issue with that is that most of the experiences actually happened before the Bermuda Triangle or directly after, and meaning that they were in the part of the seas that had nothing to do with the Bermuda Triangle. And in the same token, you would take that information and say, oh well, then the Bermuda Triangle doesn't really exist. The whole fucking sea is mysterious. It would be the same thing as like all of Antarctica is mysterious. There's military bases. What are they doing? In reality, they're just doing research that they don't want other people seeing from other countries. I think in terms
Or
of
they discovered something that nobody can see,
yeah,
and that they technically can't hide
well,
because it's probably huge.
well, that's speculation, right? That's what that is.
Well, it's all speculation.
Yeah. Well, that's why.
But the thing is, you don't hide something. I mean, like us as parents, you can recognize your kid's face if they're hiding something. You recognize that suspicious behavior. Like, oh, you're not doing something bad, then why are you hiding it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, all the military stuff is to be hidden, but you do that on our land. You do all the research on our land, but why are you guarding something so heavily on land that technically belongs to no one and is completely off limits? I don't even think they do the grants anymore. Completely 100% off limits. There's no way to go there.
I'm not entirely sure, because I feel like
Actually, I lie like a dirty rug. Metallica went there.
yeah, I was just about to say, I think it's still open, but I think you do need a clearance for it. Because I think that in terms of how Antarctica is, it's a very dangerous place. And if the animals don't get you, which there's one animal, the polar bear, who will eat you on sight because it feels like it, or it's hungry. It doesn't care what you are, it will eat you. The frigid cold would kill you in minutes if you weren't incredibly prepared. And most people on this earth that don't know what freezing temperatures, where that'll freeze your blood in your body, they don't understand that. They're like, oh, it's cold. No, this is kill you. Like, not cold, it's kill you moments. Like, if you were out without like, you couldn't go out without a jacket or like protective wear or anything like that, you die like very, very soon after you leave.
All right, well, I mean, I guess call me a dreamer, but I believe there's more to it.
I don't. Okay, so
In terms of specifically Antarctica, I think there's more to it.
Oh, sorry, not to discredit you, because it's good to have that belief, because I mean, I believe in it too. I believe that there are aliens.
Thing
sure.
is, you gotta be able to apply at least a little bit of this to everything. It's all crazy until it's not.
Oh, agreed. 100%.
All crazy until
100%.
all of a sudden, wow, that's not that crazy, because it's
Holy
proven
shit.
right. I mean, the only way I believe stuff will come out, like big stuff, like irrefutable evidence, like I said, if something happens so crazy that the government can't do anything about it, or somebody in the government or an intern royally fucks up and ends up sending the files to, like, I don't know, Discord.
God damn. Well,
Bless you.
thank you. Well, that's true of any conspiracy theories, any kind of um thing, right? It's crazy until it's not, and I think that's the thing about aliens that kind of gets me is that it's become so riddled with conspiracy theories that it makes me sad, right? So
Oh yeah, it's
if
it's
if that
it's
makes
basically
sense.
a bag of, it's all garbage now. It's all, you have no idea what to believe. It's been so saturated, so twisted, so turned, so spread thin, so commercialized, so you name
Isn't
it.
isn't
There's
the History
aliens.
Channel doing
There's
like the
there's alien
27th
underwear. There's all kinds of shit.
alien?
All kinds of specials. All kinds of ways. But the thing is, whatever the truth is, it gives no shits about where or however all this stuff is going on. If it exists, it exists, and that's that. Um, you can go off the deep end and look up conspiracy theories, and out of all of them, some of them don't have any radical craziness to it. Others do. There's some really, really colorful ones out there. Some of them are just kind of cool from a creative standpoint. Like, man, that would make a good movie, or that would be a cool, you know, creepy little webisode or whatever. There's an airport in Denver that has all
You were
these
telling me
creepy
that, yeah.
paintings and all these creepy statues, and it's just, it looks normal until you pay attention and you start looking at it. I was like, that's not fucking normal. And it has all these underground facilities and all this stuff like that. And it's still up. I don't think we have access to go in, but it
Hmm.
still exists. It's
Hmm.
still there. And then there's all these reports about, I mean, we're not talking worldwide reports. We're talking strictly in the States. There's Dulce, New Mexico. Go, Google, have fun. There's a lot of reports there from people who honestly have no reason to lie. They weren't paid even after their stories get out. They weren't made popular or nothing. They're just honestly re- uh, normal. I guess I'm gonna call them low income, or people that live off the land, or people who definitely aren't driving Ferraris or anything like that. They kind of live closer to nature than your typical folk. Yeah, they see shit.
So
Now, again, it doesn't guarantee that it's alien, but they see weird shit. And
so
whatever we consider alien, for all we know, we're totally wrong. For all we know, they don't come from the stars. They don't come from another planet. Can you imagine if in the end they actually just come from here?
so I don't know about that because in terms of if you were to put so say for instance you grab somebody from 100 years ago 100 years ago I mean electricity was just becoming like a stationary in most houses, right? Helicopters didn't exist. Planes were existed, but they weren't nearly as complicated as they are now. And
Right, they were simpler machines.
but if you bring a person from 100 years ago today, some people lived that long, but if you were to rip them out of time and put them here, they would think everything that we've done, the shit that we have in our pockets, alien, completely foreign. So if you have somebody that's living off the land, the people that live in Antarctica, or the people that live on the edges of society, or what is mainstream to society, and you take a stealth bomber, or you take a
Oh
plane
no,
or
they
jet.
they
Go
they didn't see planes. They didn't see nothing in the sky. Their reports are
of
of
people.
little of humanoids.
Oh.
Like, their reports are of organic matter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
every
puzzling.
every place has their reports of lights in the sky. Of course.
Yeah.
Typically, of course, it's usually at night. I'm sure they have too, but maybe it was my fault for not saying it, but those reports specifically are of things. at night and shit like that. I mean, there's plenty of stories. You can kind of smell the ones that are bullshit, and kind of take into account the ones that are true and that are real. Um, Again, I classify myself as a believer, but if it smells like bullshit, it's I'm gonna call bullshit. Like that doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah.
in a way, you have to suspend belief because we don't know anything about these things. Uh, and if you're gonna really start to really talk like they exist, you need to understand that these things are not us, and they don't have our limits, or maybe their limits are even more pronounced than what our limits are. You can't think of them in terms of our limits. You can't see them through your own eyes because you only see based on what you know. You know,
Yeah.
as an artist, you and I are artists. I always found it weird that everyone that draws an alien draws them in a certain way. You know, two arms, two legs, a head. Yeah, the eyes are big and you got two little dots for noses. Sometimes a mouth, sometimes no mouth. Definitely no ears, no nipples. Um,
Oh, mine has vaginas for fingers. So I don't know what
oh,
you're
that's
talking about.
interesting. You
Yeah.
gotta have to draw me one of those. Um, but it's humanoid because
Well,
we're reflecting it from ourselves. When in reality, if something is really out there, you have no clue what it looks like,
absolutely.
no idea what life outside of the planet or whatever, what molded it, what formed it, what why does it not look like us? Can our brains even conceive
Comprehend.
that?
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that people see little green men or stuff like that, that's just it's odd if you want to call them extraterrestrials. It's odd that something that's so far away still has a basic shape that resembles us.
I think, yeah, like
Now,
if,
wouldn't it be creepy? Wouldn't it be creepy if the aliens are actually other humans?
uh, no.
I
I mean,
think that's creepy.
so I have two thoughts on that. Also, Ike says, what is alien, but what we describe as the unknown, which is agreeable. I agree with what Ike says in this regard because I've always, no, I can't say always because when I was younger, I always thought little green men, little gray men. But when I came to like think about aliens and what constitute an alien, or what constitute an unknown humanoid, or a non-humanoid, it, they don't have to be directly like us. That's just from us, like you said, from us perceiving what they would look like if we were to like from our physical standpoint. But if you
Right.
were to look at it, they could literally be anything. Like they could literally be like 7 foot tendril spine monsters. You never know. Um,
Or
in terms
or
of it,
germs.
or germs. Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah, literally an alien when it comes to outer space could be anything that isn't us on Earth.
Right.
Um, but I also find it fascinating to think that they may have evolved on the same standard as us. There's a theory that I can't remember the name of the theory, but there's a theory um that we're at that point in our evolution as humans, that we're in like a sort of race to the finish line of with other races in the universe, and that there are aliens that are technologically as advanced as us, the same way, not necessarily the same type of like people like us, but progressing at the same rate as us, and we're all hitting to that finish line to where our cultures or something tragic happens and then we die out. And I think I've explained this to you before. So like you have like
I think
a
you have.
line, huh?
Yeah, I think you have.
There's a line, right? That's the finish line. So there's several races and cultures of aliens and us, all racing to that finish line. And there are three theories
Right, because
pertaining to that.
we're
Yeah,
aliens too.
yeah, exactly. So
It,
we'd
it,
be
it
aliens to
depends
something
on the
else.
point of view. Right.
Absolutely. So we're all racing to this finish line. Either we're really far back and we're one of the ancient races while other races haven't even been born yet, we're actually in the same age as those, or the second thing is we're in the same age as those races, so neither of us can reach each other, but always had the theory that there could be other aliens or other people or other things out there that could have sentience. And then there's the third one, where we've actually beaten out every other race, and all the other races have died out long. We're basically alone in the universe, which is very depressing to think of, by the way. Horrified to think that we're the only things left, but also very human, self-centered to think that, like, oh yeah, we're the only people left, fuck everybody else, like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that believe that third one. When I think their scope is very small. You'll get what I'm talking about. Um, they look at the planets that are near us, and they don't see anything there. Mars looks like at some point it was, really beautiful with oceans and all sorts of stuff. Now it's basically a ghost of what it was.
yeah,
And everyone thinks that it's only a matter of time before that happens here. So that, granted, a lot of those people that believe that theory only look at the planets that are here. Not that they would have the ability to look elsewhere, but that pushes that belief in that theory, that we're the last ones. We're the last civilization of a major civilization, a major people, I guess you could say. But what you laughing at?
Ike said, or we really fucked up all other life in the universe, because that's what humans do. Yeah, that also makes a lot of fucking sense.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
That makes a lot of sense.
I wouldn't doubt it.
We're the human race, and you don't tell us what the fuck to do. That's pretty much our motto. Don't tell us what the fuck to do. No. Well, that brings up a good point, because, like, if you say that like those planets have died before that, they could have been anything. But we've hit that curve where we're the remaining planet that has the capability of holding life. But there are other planets that have also made it. In saying that in that timeline that we've seen with like telescopes, massive super telescopes. But, like, you know what I mean though? Like, there are planets that are like ours. There are some that are bigger than ours in the exact same climates and stuff like that. Maybe a couple degrees off depending on how their weather is. But, like, so there are I guess they would call them terra firmas, or is that just a name of something I've said? Hold on. Terra firmas. Yeah, there are, like, terra firmas that have survived this apocalypse, I guess it would say. So, I mean, in that case, would it be that we've crossed the finish line as well as these planets, but we're the first to wake up after crossing the finish line, while others are just starting to be created, like starting to evolve? So we haven't gotten to the, like, we're, like, for instance, they're before dinosaurs, where the planet is still lush and stuff like that, and still basically evolving to the point where it can have life like us or creatures of any kind. So would that mean that we're still at the starting line, or would we be past the finish line? Like, what creates the cut in?
I don't think we're past the finish line. When you look at it from I don't know, man. It depends how big of a scope you want to look it through.
Could we be the ancient race that we talk about? I mean, think about it that way. Like, so say, for instance, follow me on this. If aliens didn't visit us, are we the aliens that will eventually one day visit others?
Oh no, don't get Grandpa Paradox on me.
But isn't that cool? Isn't that crazy though? Like, it had to down a whole Coke Zero. But think about that though. That kind of makes sense in terms of how other planets are. They're like ours, but no signs of life have yet to come to them. But Then again, our
because
telescopes
that
aren't able to see them fully to where we can see things yet.
I mean the fact that those see the thing is for all you know those planets the things that are visiting us for all you know it's another us that somehow they're ahead of us and they have figured out interstellar travel or the fuel necessary. But
I don't know,
if we
man.
have it,
Or a ball of light. Oh, like where they've transcended like mortal flesh, and they are themselves a cognizant ball of light, or within another dimension. It's your brother, by the way.
dude, are you stoned? Oh, it's my brother.
Yeah, it's your brother. Yeah, yeah. He said or a ball of
He asked
light,
that. He
or
said that.
within another dimension. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's probably stoned.
Are you stoned? I mean, I commend it because that sounds nice.
Uh, I know my brother. There's a 50-50.
2D things can't perceive 3D things. That's facts. So like we're 3D. We're three
We
dimensional.
have
so
our
we can't-
limits,
Yeah, we can't perceive 4-dimensional.
right? Like we can talk about it all you want, but you can't perceive it like how we're 3D. We can perceive 2D and 3D just fine. We have no problems. We can talk about perceiving 4D, but we can't actually perceive it the way we perceive 3D.
stoned.
I got
He's
I
stoned.
gotta get on Twitch. I told you.
He's stoned. He's stoned. And I am stoned. Oh, and my boy Ike's losing an Elden Ring. Well, get back up and keep fighting, you masochist. That game is all full of having your shit beat in. That's normal.
All right. Subject break. All right. I can't get too conspiracy theorists I can't get too alien-y because I do have to sleep.
Ike is also stoned. God damn it! We're all stoners! Sick! Join us! Join the conspiracy of aliens!
I completed my One Piece painting.
I saw!
One of them.
I saw.
It's gonna be one of 3, but that one was it's a very hairy child I made.
Hello,
Yeah.
hairy child!
Look at that.
What's a conspiracy?
He's duck. Look at those sideburns. Jesus Christ.
So,
He's hiding. He's hiding.
your brother asked a really good question. What's your conspiracy theory you swear by? I don't, unfortunately,
I
swear
thought
by any.
we were taking a subject break.
Are we taking? Okay, let's take a break and beat on the paintings, because the painting was sick. It's on Instagram.
Thank you.
_ George created, right?
No, just George creates.
Just George
JRG
creates.
he creates. George.
Please take a look at that. Oh God, I had a hiccup.
But
Please take a look at that.
yeah, it kind of came together rather quickly. Been working on it for a long time, messing up and repainting the background again, and messing up again, and repainting the background again, because I know nothing about that character at all. Then I
Luffy.
made myself YouTube, I guess, the right episode, and I caught a glimpse of a scene. I'm like, that's it right there. Then I clicked pause and I printed that shit, and I went ham. From that scene, I just went ham. There's like 9 arms in that painting or something
Hell
like
yeah.
that. Then it got really funky with the color. I started with just skin tones on the background. Then I did black. Then I added this really thick neon pink that I have, and then yellows and whites and black spot. I was like, holy shit, this has everything. The actual Instagram post, because Instagram kills the quality of pictures horribly. You
Yeah.
can't see the details that much.
They condensed the
So
hell out of them.
yeah, it's in my garage, and I look at it. I was like, damn, I wish Instagram could post it just like this.
You're
That's why sometimes I post like the corners
Mhm.
zoomed in, because sometimes those are my favorite parts because they just come out pretty cool and allows me to post it. What did he say?
So he said, "What are your 3 OP pieces you're doing?" So what are your 3 One Piece pieces? He did Luffy for one of them. Dude, if you ever need a reference, I got you when it comes to One Piece, and that is God. The fact that you even delve into that. Whew.
Yeah, the thing is, I think there's different iterations. Not iterations, the same characters, but they kind of they kind of redo their wardrobe every so often. All
Hmm.
nine of them, I think there's nine of them on the ship. Um, and the actual customer, Jonathan, it's for Jonathan. Um, he liked a specific set of wardrobe. So I mean, I forgot which one it was. I have to ask him again. But the idea would be in my head. The concept is the 30 by 40 Luffy in the middle,
Okay.
and then on both sides smaller paintings. Um, two 16 by 20s, or maybe one bigger or whatever of the other characters. So it's going to be four on one side, four on the other. Put together, it's not meant to be one painting. It's meant to be three, but of so that but it's meant to be on a wall piece.
Gotcha.
But the three pieces don't go together because the background for Luffy was too random. It was too crazy, too wild to recreate accurately. And it's a background that's exclusive to him. It looks like he's coming at you. You know, it's
So
not a background that can extend into other paintings.
it's a set. It's not. It's not necessarily like a collect. It's a collection, but it's not like a set. Or would it be the opposite? Would it
It's
be a
I
set,
think
not a
I think it's
collection?
yeah, I think it's the only way I was able to do it justice and actually fit everyone. Because even though the canvas is 30 by 40, it's not as big as you think to include nine people, two of them being huge. It's not, it's not that conceivable. Um, when Jonathan paid me, I told him this. He knows, and he watches the show. So, what's up, Jonathan?
What's up, dude?
Um, he when he paid me, his screen name for Cash App is Luffy something something something. I'm like, oh man, this kid's a fanboy.
Fan,
This guy's a fanboy.
fan
So I
boy.
gotta, I gotta, I gotta show off for Luffy. I gotta make it very Luffy centered. So that's my reason for the big painting being just Luffy. But he did ask me for other characters, so I'm gonna hook him up. I'm gonna give him some other characters too, and
Yeah,
hopefully I can bring the funk with those as well.
I think that's the thing, though, right? You Lynn said, yeah, it's better that way. Recreating doesn't mean much, when it comes to the background, and he is also confirming that he is a fanboy of One Piece. Um,
Good
I,
to know.
I'm in agreement on the background thing. I think each background needs to be its own creation, right? And I don't think it's bad to be able to recreate a background, but or at least for necessity's sake. But when it comes to like pieces that you want to be specific or you want them to be unique, then yeah, I think you're going an amazing route, dude. You're killing it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the background is really important. Without it, the piece looks stupid. Like it really brings it together. Like you can draw a really awesome piece, but that whatever you decide to draw around it, or if you work like Photoshop where you do your background first and then the stuff on top of it, which is terrifying. Um, if you've never painted that way, try painting that way one day. You'll see it's like, oh man, this is nerve wracking. Because you can have the most wonderful background painted, but you know that you still have to paint something on top of it. What if you screw it up?
Nah,
That's that's freaking mind blowing.
your brother's yelling at you in chat. He says, George, I'm telling you now, I want to. Or he first says, I want to commission Guts from Berserk. That would be a fucking hella cool painting.
I
Holy
don't know
shit.
who the hell that is.
You actually may like Guts because he's fucking brutal. He's fucking cool. Um,
I think Jonathan's actually gonna commission me for something else. Um, some some guy with blue hair. I don't know what the fuck it is. Some tough guy from blue hair. I don't know. But
tough guy with
I
blue
got some
hair.
cool stuff. Yeah, something about fighting, and then whoever he fights, he kills, and his chef cooks them for him. or monsters. They're monsters. They're not people. They're monsters. He's got short blue hair. I think he told me it was a new thing, but I don't know. Sounds wrong, but a lot of the animes do look the same. They have in the same colors and designs and hair designs and stuff like that. So he's gonna ask me for that.
Hmm.
Uh, in between these paintings or after these paintings, I actually do have a painting lined up, waiting for him, for my brother. Actually, it's a painting of his cat. I haven't
Cat
forgotten.
painting.
Uh, it's a cat painting. Uh, my buddy Frank, what's up, Frank? He's commissioning me a Tron uh, oriented piece on a canvas that I already have. It's a bigger canvas. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
I know you wanted a Miles Morales.
Eventually, just do your thing, man. Whenever you get to it, I'm not. Again, I'm not.
See, the
It's no
thing is,
rush. It really isn't.
those those come out when they come out. Like if I'm in the middle of a painting and I get this really cool idea for like something else, obviously I'm not going to finish what I'm working on. The inspiration is going to incorrectly show on the wrong painting, so I'll just grab another canvas and I'll get that idea out.
Oh,
There's no order. There's no order up here. It's just whatever happens to, it's cool when it's all pointing in one direction, but sometimes it doesn't.
I
So
fucking
if you end
love.
up with if you end up with a Miles Morales out of nowhere, you know that it just popped in my head and I had to do it.
Dude, Miles Morales, man, is now my favorite Spider-Man. Fucking love the black and red scheme that he has. I
I
don't know,
I
something
personally
artistically
like
awesome.
him. I personally like him wearing the hoodie and the shorts better
Yeah, right
than
though.
just the tights.
Yeah, it looks well. I don't know. It gives him character, right? Peter Parker is your typical fucking Spider-Man, and that's cool. That's awesome. He's Spider-Man. You can't stop being Spider-Man. But I don't know. It adds a difference to Miles Morales that makes him more relatable, right? He's just a kid. He's wearing he's wearing his normal shit above his outfit. I don't know. It's fun.
He's wearing pajamas with a hoodie. How can you go wrong?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a onesie then shorts. That's in case you shit yourself. No one will ever see. It's impossible. But yeah, man, it's killer. That was I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. I've stopped doing digital art for a minute, and I'm kind of pissed off because I want to do more stuff with eyes because I'm psycho like that. So like, it's interesting to always think about that. Are you looking on Twitch right now?
No, my brother is sending me pictures on Discord of
Hell yeah.
this berserker character
Guts.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Big ass claymore.
Yeah, well,
Not even a
yeah,
claymore.
whatever. Uh, what the hell's a claymore?
Claymore is a type of giant blade. That's
Oh, okay. Yeah, his sword is huge, and he's just sent me this picture where they're fighting these huge eels or s- creatures. I know nothing about this. I've never truly liked the way anime is drawn,
hmm,
but I can totally get behind the whatever must have been going through this person's mind, the artist. Uh, the concept, the fighting, the epicness.
yeah.
It's dark. It is dark.
There's
This
worse.
stuff is the shit.
There's
So
worse.
yeah, dude, Lening, if you want me to paint this guy for you eventually, yeah, when I have a time slot, I'll definitely paint this guy for you. That shit's gonna be a lot of fun and a lot of black. I mean, I always have a few big jars of black paint, but that's my predominantly used color.
You know you can type in. Oh, by the way, you know you can type on Twitch. Just go to Twitch and type in "it's giggly" and it will pop up, and you don't have to sub or anything like that, right?
And I don't have the what?
Like follow or anything like that to look at the chat.
It's a lot of work.
Fair. Ike says, I agree with the Spider-Man sentence. Miles still feels young. Peter, like a young Peter, even though he started out as a teen, has slowly still feels young. Peter, even though started out as a teen, has slowly aged with the audience. They are definitely letting Miles stay younger. Yeah, and it also appeals to a wider demographic when you stay younger because I mean, I don't know, fucking Miles is sick, dude. And I
His powers are different, which makes him cool. I'm glad they
yeah,
didn't just make him a clone of Peter.
true. Oh, your brother says I'll get on the list. I'll wait. I'm around till I die. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. But yeah, so dude, fucking, he's sick, and I don't know. There's always something about something appealing about like a kid growing up with the responsibilities of an adult, but like trying to shoulder that in their own way. Um,
Right.
and as much as like Miles Morales is snarky and much like Peter Parker in that regards, he learns differently about the same things and comes to his own conclusions. And I think the fact, like you said, I like the fact that they didn't make him a clone. He's his own individual,
Right.
and that's what makes him
Make him
powerful.
different.
Yeah,
Right.
and I love that.
So, um, going in dry here.
Oh, I don't like that.
To answer my brother's question about which conspiracy I'll die by, which one is hardcore for me. It's actually a universal one. You can apply it to, aliens or disease or whatever you want to think. You can actually take this one and really run with it, or you can keep it grounded. I think the government purposely lies to us and
Oh yeah.
manipulates the way things goes.
Oh, then
Things go.
I guess I do have it there.
Uh, so yeah, so that one I believe in. I don't have all the trust in the world in the government. The more local the office, the more I can actually step in and talk to somebody. They'll get a little bit of cred from me, but in the back of my mind, it's like this guy is he's not down here with us.
No.
You and like I've always said this, you and I, for example, we got to live with each other down here. We're not with those people who probably make really large, much larger decisions based on much larger shit going on than whatever we got going on. So they have no stake in our game. They have none. Whatever happens to us doesn't touch them. Whatever happens to them, shit rolls downhill, unfortunately, and it affects us. So the last thing I'm ever gonna trust is somebody that's working for Uncle Sam. It's just not. I don't believe them. I don't believe it. Whatever they're saying is either to get us to go in one direction, whether it be harmless or whether it be, they just kind of to steer everyone, or to deflect, to like, hey, I don't want you looking over here. I want you looking over there. And it's not to say that they're not good at it. They're the best at it. They're the best. They fool the majority of the population. So they're obviously not bad at it. But yeah, that's one conspiracy I pretty much believe in. Even when others may fluctuate or kind of don't pay attention to some, or I abandon some or whatever, I just don't think about it, don't dive in as much. That one's always there.
You believe in Bigfoot too, though, by the way.
Yeah, but it's not a conspiracy. I don't see the government actively hiding it behind closed doors. Like look, if you had a government official, not in a room, because for an interview, but let's say you were at a press hearing, I don't know, for the president. Let's say Sleepy Joe was here, right? And you score a spot in the immediate crowd, right? And you have a media pass, and you can ask him 2 questions, right before his dementia hits. You can ask him 2 questions, and one of them is alien related, right?
Okay.
But I don't know what question it would be, but it's a hard hitting one. It's one that he couldn't probably BS out of. He'll scramble, or he'll change the subject, or he'll give you a generic answer, not because it's real or fake, but because there's a lot of media surrounding it. No matter what he answers to that, he knows that the media is going to spin it. It's a dangerous position for a politician to get your answer really, you know, twisted and turned and whatever over what can be considered a hot subject.
Mm,
Sasquatch is, as much as I love it and I do firmly believe it, it's not a hot subject by comparison.
no. Well,
It
yeah.
doesn't get worldwide headlines or oh the government is lying. The government isn't lying about Sasquatch. You know, people wouldn't say that. People would say the government is lying about UFOs, but they wouldn't say about Sasquatch. Now, about Sasquatch is different. I don't think it's about lying. It's about we just don't fucking know.
Hmm.
It's
I
the
think
government doesn't know, or maybe they do know. I don't know.
I'm I'm kind of I'm in full agreement. I don't trust anything that the government says, or I should say I don't trust anything that any news outlet has to say regarding what's going on.
Well, for me, the media and the government are one and the same. I think they're in bed with each other. I think it's been around for a long time like that.
I think so, but I think sometimes they have a tendency to speak and say shit that doesn't make a lot of sense, or if it
Well,
does,
there's more than one participant in bed.
ah ah
Giggity.
it's polygamy.
Mm.
Oh
What was I
no.
gonna say? Uh, yeah, that's fuck. What was I gonna say? Maybe they're kidnapping aliens and Sasquatch, and they're making them fight underground.
We don't talk about fight or the one rule about Fight Club. We don't talk about it. It's under that rule where they're fighting. God damn it, Bigfoot and aliens. It's back to the fucking alien and Bigfoot fight that we had, that we discussed. Hey, Desi, welcome to the chat. I'd pay premium to watch that. Your brother says, "Hell yeah, absolutely." I mean, if for instance aliens and Bigfoot do exist, I would pay top dollar to see that shit. For
What?
real
Are you
though.
kidding me?
Fuck yeah.
I'd sponsor Bigfoot.
It's sponsored
I'd
Bigfoot.
sponsor, I'd sponsor Bigfoot with gloves, mouth guard, shorts,
He'd
the
be
actual
fucking
octagon.
set.
Hell yeah! Can you imagine our logo on the floor of the octagon?
I'd pay per view it.
Pay per view, bro. Brought to you by two dudes talking shit.
Oh, dude, fucking
That would actually be
immediate
really fucking
announcement.
cool.
That would be sick, right? Get
That'd be
paid top
sick as
dollar.
shit.
Not to say
Hell
anything for the
yes.
underground shit.
Sell merch. Like, oh man, you guys are killing it. What's your biggest money maker,
Um,
bro? Shirts.
shirts. Yeah, you can't say anything else.
Hey,
Shirts.
honestly, merch does do it. Does pull it.
Joe Rogan would absolutely do that pro bono. Bruh.
Probably.
Facts. That's straight facts, homie. That's that shit's amazing. Well, I think that about does it, right? I think we've covered quite a bit. What do you think?
Interesting. We got a little conspiracy. Aliens. Dude, my kid's hair, the one that was walking in the background, Logan, he has that. The hair looks just like the guy. It's just like the dude. Alien. You know what's a separate topic? It's related to aliens, but you can actually go on a full tangent uh, about it and not technically talk about aliens. And I think you can, if you ground it, uh, it's fucking scary. Whether it's grounded or whether you add a little fantasy to it.
What
There's
is it?
rumors of both. Um, it's still fucking creepy. It'll send chills up your spine because
Cool.
there's nothing that can stop it from happening to you. Nothing at all. Not a
Ooh,
damn thing.
I like it.
Not a damn thing. Even if it's grounded in realism, it's still fucking scary.
What is it?
You want to talk? You want to talk about it?
Well, one sec. Your brother says, "How do you guys feel about hauntings?" Let's get through what George is saying, but we can address that at some point because things about ghosties or hauntings in general. Yeah, go for it, homie. I'm down. I read a lot of horror, and that doesn't make me a credible source on what horror can stand to be, but I've had a couple upsets while reading some books that make me want to like. I had one book that I was reading that I nearly like had to like get up out of my chair and vomit. I'm like, nah, ooh, that made me
Oh,
fucking
wow.
uncomfortable. But continue.
Well, this subject, you guys can hear about it in our tail end. So,
You'll have to
all
wait,
right.
bitches. Sorry.